Meet Candace Hiltz. Some called her Candy. Candy was a smart cookie. Candy was a bright whippersnapper. Candace Hiltz, by the time she was 11 years old, she was already doing calculus. Calculus, which was, of course, invented by Isaac Newton. Calculus, when she was 11 years old. Candace was super smart. Candace Hiltz started taking Brigham Young University online courses when she was 15 years old. She was going to college online when she was 15. Brigham Young University is in Utah. It's owned by the Mormons. At 17 years of age, Candace Hiltz had applied to Stanford Law School, and she got accepted to Stanford Law. Candace Hiltz was accepted to Stanford Law. That's right up there with Yale and Harvard. Candace Hiltz dreamed of being a U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice one day, but Candace was worried about how she's going to be able to afford Stanford Law School. How's she going to afford it? It's very expensive. Plus, Candace Hiltz was a teenage mother. Candace had a baby. So Candace didn't know how she was going to move to California and study law and take care of baby Paige all at the same time. Candace Hiltz was super smart. She was ambitious. Candace Hiltz was accepted to go to Stanford Law School. She was going to be a superstar. Supreme Court. Instead of becoming a Supreme Court Chief Justice, instead of going to Stanford Law School, instead of becoming a superstar, Candace Hiltz on August 15th, 2006, got her head nearly blown off with a shotgun. And then her nearly decapitated corpse was wrapped in a blanket, a quilt, and it was stuffed underneath a bed where her mother would later on find her. So instead of becoming a superstar, instead Candace Hiltz was shot to death, wrapped in a quilt where she bled out onto, and then she was stuffed underneath the bed. And that's where that Fremont County superstar ended up. The Fremont County Sheriff's deputies showed up an hour later. As incompetent as they are, they only picked up one or two things, and then they left suspiciously with 90% of the crime scene unprocessed. It's suspected that Candace Hiltz was shot in front of her 11-month-old daughter because an empty shotgun shell casing was found in Paige's crib, baby Paige. And there was a shotgun shell that was found in it. Maybe it shot off from the shotgun, or maybe they put the shell in the crib to send a message, whoever did it. Candace Hiltz' baby girl's name was Paige Hiltz. And Paige Hiltz was 11 months old at the time of the shooting. Unfortunately, Candace Hiltz had had a stroke when she was pregnant with Paige, which caused her baby to have hydranencephaly, which is a condition in which the brain's cerebral hemispheres are absent to varying degrees, and the remaining cranial cavity is filled with cerebral spinal fluid. Hydranencephaly. It's also known as water on the brain. So Candace Hiltz's baby, Paige, was born with water on the brain, or more accurately, water as the brain. So Paige Hiltz, Candace's baby girl, was born with water as her brain. Paige Hiltz was born on September 19th, 2005, 11 months before her mother would be murdered. But Paige Hiltz wasn't even expected to live. Just more than a few hours, maybe a few days, but not 7 years, as she eventually would. Her doctor called her a miracle baby. Paige was raised by her grandmother, Dolores Hiltz, in Cotopaxi after Candace was murdered on August 15, 2006. Paige never got to celebrate her first birthday with her mother. But the smile from Paige delighted everybody. Every once in a while, if you tickled her at the right spot, she would laugh, and everybody would enjoy it, said LaRusso. I miss her, she said. Candace Hiltz killers were never found by the Fremont County Sheriff's Department, quite possibly because the killer is one of the deputies, or is the sheriff. Nobody knows. After Candace Hiltz was killed, Paige would go on to live another 6 years without her mother. Paige didn't even get to spend her first birthday with her mom. Eventually, Paige Hiltz would die on Thanksgiving Day, November 22nd, 2012. Paige Hiltz lived to be 7 years old.